All right, to set up an RDL, we want to think of this as a hip hinge motion and not a squat. First, we want to keep a soft bend in our knees. We don't want to lock them out. We also want to think about keeping the bar or dumbbells glued to the thighs for the entire rep. Before you start the movement, we do want to take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, focus on bracing your core like you're about to get punched. You want to keep that brace throughout the movement and focusing on your breath and control. From there, you're going to push your hips back like you're closing a car door with your butt. The weight is going to travel down in front of your legs, shoulders staying over or slightly ahead of the bar, and you are going to stop when you feel your hamstrings pull tight. This is usually around mid-shin, and then from there, you will drive your hips forward to stand, squeezing those glutes at the top. I also want you to think about keeping your chin tucked and do not look up and ahead in front of you at the mirror. This is usually when form breaks down and takes your spine out of neutral, and your head wants to be the first thing to raise up. A lot of times when people do complain about lower back problems. Remember, this should not be a lower back exercise. We want to focus on keeping the movement in your hamstrings and glutes. Some common mistakes with this move: we want to squat the weight down and your knees start to travel forward and the bar drifting away from your legs. We want to think about keeping your hips back before knees start to bend. A lot of women also round the lower back at the bottom, so be sure you are stopping your descent the moment you lose the hip hinge motion. The moment that you cannot push your hips back any further is when you should start to come up. We also want to think about keeping the soles of our feet rooted in the ground. I don't want you rocking back on your heels or toe tapping. We want to think about gum on the bottom of your shoe that you are trying to get off. This will keep the weight more centered in the middle of your body. The last thing is we do not want to hyperextend the lower back to finish. Instead, we want to squeeze the glutes at the top. Stand tall, don't lean back or think about hip thrusting forward. If you do notice your grip is giving out as you go heavier, I highly recommend some Versa grips and liquid chalk. We don't want that to be the limiting factor of being able to progress your weight.